Welcome to Ginger Media channel. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon for more updates and notifications. Divide Nigeria now and invoke the Aburi Accord of 1967. Former President of the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, and human rights activist Olisa Agbakoba, SAN, has told President Buhari to divide the country into 8 regions. Agbakoba, one of the greatest heroes of democracy in Nigeria, noted that there are so many unclear issues in Nigeria about how people of the country want to organize themselves and how they want to live together. The senior lawyer, that is Agbakoba, told reporters at the weekend that insecurity and other serious issues facing the country can't be fully arrested if the federal government remains so strong as it is now under Buhari. He, however, added, this is because community policing or state policing is a tactical tool to deal with the problem, but the strategic tool is the bigger question of the national question. There are so many unclear issues in Nigeria about how we want to organize ourselves, how we want to live our lives together. This is what some people have called restructuring. Question is, however, some call it national question, but I call it devolution of power question, said Olisa Agbakoba, SAN. Whatever it is called, that is the central issue that needs resolution, so that even if you use tactical tools like community policing, but the bigger issue remains that then I don't know if we can resolve it. What Nigeria needs is space. There are diverse ethnicities and they are living in such close proximity that one ethnic community is in the face of the other ethnic community with counter cultures, counter religion, and counter religious belief, and that is not healthy. Even in America, in spite of all the advanced democracies, they take care of diversities. Even in Europe, with all their advancement, yet they cannot handle ethnicity better than the way we have managed to handle it here. So, Olisa Agbakoba continues, I think if I were to advise the president, for instance, the first thing to do is to create space, identify the ethnic nationalities, create 8 big blocks, even though we have 6, to make it 8. Create and expand, 6 blocks in order for us to get where we want to get. Now, Olisa Agbakoba goes on to say, and then I will give them the power to do things at their own local level. It's called the principle of subsidiarity. Let them work at their own local level. Subsidiarity is where people engage themselves at the local level, such as you find in Wales, Scotland, Ireland, and England. They all come together again to have the superstructure, which is the United Kingdom. Part of the challenge they had when they were living closely was to create an act of settlement of 1705. That was when peace began to come and each of the region recognized themselves. They all had their own prime minister, if you remember, and they all called them first ministers. So the prime minister of the United Kingdom is the one we see internationally. But on local matters like school, refuge collection, education, agriculture, employment, health issues, these things are done and dealt with at the local level. So compare that in Nigeria. Now imagine in Nigeria where we have 8 of the regional structures in Nigeria were fending for themselves at their local level and not depending on federal allocation from Abuja. Things will be different. Believe you me, things will be different. Immediately, they will take control of what is around them. They will create state police. They will create the relevant security apparatus to deal with any threat. Therefore, you don't need one chief of army staff, and they don't need one inspector general of police to be running around the entire nation. For instance, say in South region, they will have all the relevant apparatus to deal with the after whatever situation that they need to survive as a region. They could have their courts. They might like to have a Supreme Court of the South, where cases end in the Supreme Court of the South. So, they do that. They do not have to go to the Supreme Court of Nigeria, because the Supreme Court of Nigeria has no business dealing with the issues arising therefrom. That is the kind of space I think should be paramount in the issues concerning where Nigeria is heading to. Because, as you all know, that discussion is not on the table. All ethnic issues flares up as issue of national insecurity challenges stares us in the face. So, that is what I would do or suggest if I had the opportunity to advise on it. The federal government is too strong and too large and too suffocating. The federal government is actually not a federal government. Ours is a unitary federal government because the state has no power on the legislative list. So there are 68 items on the exclusive list. And as the name implies, exclusive, meaning exclusive only to the federal government to handle. There is 30 on the concurrent list. Concurrent list is between the federal government and the state to legislate. But if the federal government legislate them, then pursuant to what is called the doctrine of covering the field, the state is not allowed to do anything. In other words, the states have no legislative authority. That creates a problem. Why should the federal government be dealing with universal basic education, he asked, for primary school or the primary school that is at the local level? What is the federal government responsibility with that? I do not understand that. Olisa Agbakoba questioned. What is the federal government responsibility by setting up a JAMB process for that you equalize education activities? But if my grandchild from Anambra scores 282, but my friend's grandson from Zamfara scores 100, my friend's grandson gets into the university, but my own does not get in, why don't you say, look, each region can just organize itself and take your own examination? So it is this centrifugal federal system, that means federalism, that has a pyramid, that has only one leader, that is our problem. We just have to blast the structure and allow leaders as we have under the 1960 Constitution. So when you have regional leaders, you will have people who will like to play regional politics or regional law. Therefore, there is no reason, for instance, in my own profession, the 8 regions I propose should not be awarding SANs everywhere. Let them award SANs to their own lawyers. Let the 8 regions, in their own small capacity, award SANs in their own regions. Why must it only be Abuja that is awarding SANs? In the United Kingdom again, remember, we keep referring to United Kingdom because they colonized us. The SAN in England is different from the SAN in Scotland. So, the formula that worked for Nigeria was to recognize the differences. And I think the best example of the agreement that we can apply is the Aburi Accord. Not when we say Aburi Accord, some of you will begin to develop fatigue. The Aburi Accord recognizes that Nigerians' problem were as a result of our diversity not being well managed. We need to manage our diversity. That is the way we can move forward. This is Njenje Media channel. Subscribe and click on the bell icon for more updates.